everybody, welcome back. I've had a lot of requests for me to post another video on the channel, so today I thought I'd do something with dry rice noodles, the kind that when you don't have the availability of the fresh fun noodles, you can use these dry ones. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to prepare these, and also we're going to make a topping with beef and broccoli and put it on top of the noodles after we stir fry the noodles. So I'm going to pause the camera and we'll get started. Now, as you can see, I have some water that's boiling in the wok here, and this is the noodles we're going to be using. You'll see it says Oriental style noodle. It's also a Vietnamese name on there. It's pho. Pho is a Vietnamese pronunciation. They use this noodle in soups, and we're going to use these that are like wide. I think they're maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch wide. So we're going to dump them in the wok. Basically, you want to stir them around so they don't stick, and you can check them once in a while, and what you want to do is be sure they're not chewy. You want to be sure they're tender, so cook them long enough. And then what you'll do is you'll drain them and run cold water on them, and then they'll be ready for you to just stir fry them a little bit and put them as a base layer on the plate, and then the topping will go on top. It's similar to Cantonese chow mein, but it's with using the fun noodles. These aren't as good as the fresh fun noodles, but they're a pretty good substitute when you don't have the availability of the the full service Asian markets. So we'll give this a couple of minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I take them out. Okay, here you can see I have a colander set up in the sink. And I timed these noodles, it was like 4 minutes. And I have the cold water running. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse them off in cold water. And after you've done this, you can put a little bit of just a little squirt of sesame oil, and that'll keep the noodles from sticking, kind of like you would do with any other pasta. Just a touch of sesame oil and mix it together, and that'll give a little bit of flavor, but not much. So that's how you do the noodles. Boil them for 4 minutes, rinse them in cold water. Okay, now over here you see I have a couple of pieces of it was thin sliced round steak that we found on sale. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it down the side, put one on top of the other, and hold my knife at an angle. Put it in a bowl, and then you just follow the steps to velvetize the meat that is on my other video. So what I'm doing is I'm making the slices. I'll show you with just using one instead of doubling it up. putting your knife at an angle like that, it gives it a nicer cut, a nicer slice. There you have it for your beef. Okay, we're back again. As you can see, I've laid out some things on the cutting board here, and previously I was using this little cutting board just to show you that you can use these home cutting boards. You don't always have to use the hard rubber ones, so you can adapt to whatever you have available. And I'll zoom in a little bit and show you what we have. These are the ingredients that are going to go in this dish. I changed it from that beef and broccoli because I already have the beef and broccoli on another video. So this is these are all time savers. Here you have minced ginger suspended in oil, chopped up, and this one is the minced garlic. And over here I have black beans, fermented black beans. And here, sometimes if you, this is another thing, you can request this hot oil, hot sauce, when you get carryouts at Chinese restaurants or carryouts, and it comes in handy for cooking, so save it if you don't use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teaspoon of each heaping teaspoon of each on the platter, and I'm going to put just a half, because this is very strong. I don't want it too spicy, but it should have some little bit of a bite to it. And then 1 heaping spoon of the black beans. Teaspoon. This is teaspoons now. Together. So I'll show you. That's all in one place. And you can use the back of your spoon to mash up the beans a little bit. And I have the wok heating up on the stove to pre-cook the beef. Some of the beef, once I stir fry that beef, it's going to go here in this area, and then we're going to throw it all together after we stir fry the noodles. This is the beef here. So I'm going to pause the camera and we'll go over by the stove and we'll continue this. Okay, now raise this up a little bit. The wok is hot and we're ready to go. Bring it over. Just sprinkle some oil in here. Spread it around and swirl it around so it covers all the surface. You see it's smoking hot, so your beef is not going to stick to your wok. I'll turn on the fan on low. You have to add a little bit of oil as you're doing this so it doesn't stick. Some of the coating will stick to the side of this wok, but you can scrape that out. The beef itself is not going to stick. And then you'll put it on the platter. Now you see the wok is hot again. I scraped out that little bit of the cornstarch mixture that was stuck to the side of the wok off. Now hot wok, and I put a little bit of water in there so they'll separate a little bit. Sprinkle a little bit more. And you can cover that just for a minute. What you're doing is you're making the noodles hot, and you're softening them up, and you're going to make a bed with the noodles on your plate. So this is what you're going to put your beef and your vegetable mixture on top. Okay, now we're back for the final stir fry. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil in the wok this time. Swirl it around. And this is the platter that I have everything laid out on, right? First we're going to put in the black bean with the pepper, garlic, and ginger in there. Stir that around so it's fragrant. And everything else goes in. The black bean and the ginger and the garlic gives it a really good aroma. And we'll take a splash of cooking wine. And I've done something a little bit different. This is a one cup of broth, soup base. And I had that simmering on the other burner, so it won't take long for that to come back up to boil. And as that's coming up to boil, we're going to season the mixture. Two tablespoons of thin soy sauce. Two tablespoons of oyster sauce. Both of those are salty, so you want to put maybe half a teaspoon of salt in there, and you can see it's already coming to a boil. A dash of pepper. And remember, you're seasoning this to go over those noodles which have no taste, so you want to have more flavor in this. About a teaspoon of the dark soy sauce. And now we're going to thicken it up with cornstarch suspension. The idea behind this dish, just like the Cantonese chow mein, is you want it to have like a gravy to go over to flavor the noodles. That's why they call this sup chow handfull, which means wet. And you can take a look at the color if you want it to be more colorful. You can add a little bit more of the thick soy sauce. Maybe another teaspoon more. You don't want it to be too thick, but you want it to be thick enough to cling to the noodles. That should do it. And you can always taste the seasoning, the broth that comes up. It's tasty. As they say on that cranberry commercial, 'tis tasty. And now, this gets layered over top of this. An excellent dish. It's rice noodles, Siju, handfull. Siju sup chow fung. I hope you've enjoyed this dish and you try it at home in your kitchen. And thanks for watching.